This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy! Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Catbus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guests and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Hey, we've learned that psycho murderers can be nice to their mothers, so it's probably a good time to cover the 4 main types of serial killers, according to what the Crack TNT Research Department found out for me. The first type of serial killer is the visionary type. Now, this is the type who kills because he hears voices or has visions. They claim, God told me to kill all the prostitutes, or Satan told me to kill anybody driving a green Yugo. If you're this type, plead insanity, all right? The second type of serial killer is the mission-oriented type. This is basically the same as the first type, except that there are no voices involved. The killer thinks of it all himself. I'm going to rid society of all people who wear Birkenstocks. They think they're doing the community a big service, and they probably are. Now that I think about ridding the society of Birkenstocks. If you're this type, your neighbors will always be quoted as saying, he was such a nice young man. The third type is my personal favorite, the hedonistic type. This is the type who kill because they like it, like Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs with his fava beans and Chianti. Of course, he's fictitious, but there are real guys like that who we'll cover at the next break. But if you're this type, you have experienced peakerism. If I tell you what peakerism is, my show will probably get canceled, but let's just say that one person's getting very physically happy while the other person's getting very physically dead. All right, I better move on to the fourth type of serial killer, which is the power control-oriented type. This is where Ted Bundy falls in. This type gets his happies from the capture and control of his powerless victim and making them obey his every command. They like to feel important. They're aware of the rules of society, but choose to ignore them. So if you have problems picking up chicks without a crowbar in your hand, probably this type, like Ted Bundy. Of course, that means I can't pick up chicks under any circumstances, so maybe I'm that type. Maybe we should get back to the flick. Go. That's about the only thing I hadn't tried, too. You know what happened if I tried that? The girl would say, you're not really gripping that crowbar correctly. I have a boyfriend who really knows how to use that crowbar. You see, this is freaky times we live in, you know? People are into all kinds of stuff.
Hello there. Hey, Poetic Critic, do you have a synonym? Not cinnamon. A synonym for rewind, toss back, throwback that starts with an M?
No.
Yeah, so... Oh, we'll just call this a Movie Monday release. This is I Did Crazy Flicks presents 90 for Chill, the podcast with Catbus Russ. I am Catbus Russ. I'm joined here by the Poetic Critic. That's the Poetic Critic on Letterboxd, all one word. And I'm just in Morton, Illinois right now and realize, oh shoot, if I want this pacing right between this episode and the next episode, I should release it tonight. So for Monday, you know what I'm saying. I figure, hey, I'm in town. Might as well see what the Poetic Critic, the big sister, is up to besides Trash and TRON. I don't know. Did you ever really sit and watch it with us back in 1984 or so when I got that tape?
Not really.
Huh. Now, you know Flash Gordon, beginning to end, right? I just want to make sure the parents had some successful influence.
Yes.
Okay. So, score there. You know, it's spooky month, and I've been doing my best to keep up the horror streak. You know, that horror streak ended, unfortunately, with the Cubs Brewers series, but I digress. So, how have you been with the scary movies this month?
Well, I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff in. If you look at my letterbox, I'm trying to get in one per day.
Mm-hmm.
Something related. Now, I don't necessarily just do horror movies.
Right.
But, you know, the other night Tubi had a documentary on Ben Cooper, which was the company that made all those plastic Halloween masks and tunics that for a lot of kids up through the 80s were the Halloween costumes of choice, especially licensed ones.
So are we talking the real thin plastic mask stuff? No, we're not talking Halloween 3 Season the Witch quality.
Yeah, we're talking the plastic stamped out ones.
Right, which, the sad children and the parades on Bozo from WGN.
They're not sad. They were having a good time.
I'm thinking those masks hid the sadness. And how many of them actually wore the mask over their face?
Well, they actually talked about that in the documentary, which was this very modest affair that had a handful of people who worked for the company or were related to like Ben Cooper himself, the founder and stuff. And they mentioned that the reason those style of costumes had the picture of the character on the little plastic tunic you put on was because they knew that not everybody was going to keep the mask on, but the licensors wanted to make sure everybody knew who the character was anyway.
Okay.
So, because they admit the masks, they were sweaty, they weren't always easy to see through, so this is like your backup. There was some interesting stuff there about the nature of the licensing business and what was popular and such. It wasn't particularly in depth, though, and it didn't need to be 85 minutes. It's just not enough there.
Well, I mean...
It feels kind of slowly paced for that.
Well, I mean, qualifies for the podcast. Look, sometimes I think I just should drop the low number to 65 minutes. Because I know I'm going to always have to argue, no. We round up on the Land Before Time. But, or we just blame Lucas, which is so easy. Well, no, that was more Spielberg, right?
It was both.
Oh, I knew it was Amblin. I couldn't really recall if it was George Lucas.
No, Lucas had a hand in that one.
Okay. So that's but the Ben Cooper documentary, what was that called again?
Dressing Up Halloween. It's available on Tubi.
Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting, all things considered. I think I really only recall wearing one of those once, and that was 1989 Batman. I don't think I had I think, thankfully, Batman has his frickin' logo, so I don't think the character is on my chest. Mm-hmm. But that's when you realize, because I was at trick-or-treating with the kids from the class, probably 2 classes above me.
Right.
Because, I'm a year older than all my classmates.
Right.
So, yeah, all it takes is a couple... I definitely felt like a 4th grader in a South Park episode compared to the 6th graders. Mm-hmm. And they had the cool makeup on their jokers. Like, oh, bollocks. So, and I don't know. I don't think I really did much trick-or-treating after that.
No, we all kind of gave it up after 6th grade.
Yeah, does make me think back. How many times did we have to go to the nursing home for trick-or-treating? Like, it was a school walk. I think that happened in 2nd grade. I think that
only happened for me once, and I might be confusing it with Christmas stuff.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking back to school. I know we have our little niece playing the recorder. And, geez, they are actually trying to keep track of the progress.
Huh.
We basically just faked it until we got through the recital. If at least I did.
No, that's no way to go through life.
What, in this country, fake it till you make it kind of works a lot more than we'd like. I mean, that's how we... Well, great. That's kind of how we got Jared Leto movies, I suppose. It all wraps around to TRON. Oh, what a depressing October. So,
the thing about the Tron thing, everybody going after that sequel like it's a pinata, is that we all knew going in this was a terrible idea that just seemed to make all the wrong moves on the way down.
What, Nine Inch Nails soundtrack? Like, that's the... Like...
But then they released it before the movie came out. So there
Yes.
was no reason to go see the movie.
No.
For anyone who was interested in the movie for that reason.
No. It was the same move they talked about on Honest Trailers. Like, oh, Daft Punk this new Daft Punk album comes with a movie? And it's one of those things, like, I gotta get that vinyl. Vinyl's just so pricey. Like, I think $30 is a fair price for a vinyl record. $40, a little too much. I'm sure if I go to the right shop, I can get it about $35. But yeah, no, I mean, I took part in the Tron Ares Pro panel at Indiana Comic Convention.
I know you did that.
So
I know you were excited, but even you say you haven't seen it yet.
Well,
and I know you've been busy.
Yes, I was about to say.
You don't have much time left.
Well, I was able to make it to try. Like, I was able to push it till the very. Like, I am the type who was like, well, don't have the time. Well, screw it. It's more difficult with the streaming era. Like, oh, okay, just wait for the weekend where it's gonna have 2 showings and streaming. What? That like now that's the biggest problem with streaming. It's like, in case of failure, throw it on Disney.
Yeah, but the thing about Tron Ares is that it was one of those projects where you could see the wheels coming off from a mile away, and you're watching them roll down the highways. They try to get the car to the finish line.
I don't necessarily think that. I mean, Jared Leto. That's just the problem. Jared Leto doesn't do car wrecks. He is the wreck car. And it's just after the accident, and it's just limping down the road. You feel so sorry and pathetic. See, it's gonna make major streaming numbers because of the sympathy watches.
I don't think that's gonna help. I don't think there's really a market for sympathy watches. That's one of the biggest things about the streaming churn era is that you really don't see movies get a second wind on streaming the way they did back in the days of VHS or cable.
Well, I mean, what about Encanto?
That's the one exception, and that had the advantage of it was a Christmas Day drop. At the time, Disney's release window was only 45 days. So whether it did well or not, it was going to go to streaming that day. But then the next year they did this with Strange World, and that didn't work.
Well, Strange World, that was a just bad promotion to begin with. I know there's a lot of fans of Strange World.
I've never encountered one.
Yeah, but we're not really social beings. I mean, as going back to Tron, it's like Jared Leto, and I think I told you this, I can count the number of 32nd the Mars fans on my genitalia. I just need to think of something smaller than a foot or hand. So, not to say that it is... Okay, now I'm just going to blue territory. And this movie is red. That was something weird that we were talking about. Why are we changing the colors all the time? Like, gotta separate this. This is not Argento or Picasso. So we got Tron, we got a documentary about crappy costumes. I do have Netflix right now, so if you want to try getting around to Del Toro's Frankenstein at some point, I can hook that up on your TV. Yeah. But, the rewind this week is really like the lost episode from the original Podbean feed. And I did it twice, but it's kind of like, I can't release it until the spooky season. And that's going to be my conversation with Quid Pro Joe Golwitzer about the Saw franchise. Which, honestly, the Poetic Critic really approved of that episode back in the day. I think it was episode 3, honestly.
Yeah, it had to have been really early.
Yeah, So yeah, we'll talk about the first Well, no, yeah, the first nine movies? No, 8 movies. Well, shoot, I'm trying to do the math on the numbers. So, the 8th was Jigsaw. Dang it, I don't think Saw X deserved that X now. I mean, it's cool, but I do talk about Saw X. I'll throw a link for that in the description as well. But hey, anything of note before I just go and conclude this little intro, which it's a short episode anyhow, because that was back when I was really I thought Zoom was gonna make me pay for anything over 40 minutes.
Well, I don't have anything left to say.
Okay, well, you can follow what she's watching and Letterboxd. That's the poet at ThePoeticCritic. Don't. She's very mysterious. Hasn't come up with an avatar yet. But I'm just telling you, that's a real account. And of course, you can follow me on Letterboxd as well. Still using the handle at CMDarth there. We're catching up. We're gonna make the conversion over to the Cat Bus brand at some point. And you can follow me on my social medias at CatBusRuss. That's on Blue Sky, preferably Threads and Instagram. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, well, I think that's all going to be delivered at the end. So let me just go and do the final formalities. Well, there was no Patreon back in 2021, so help the show out, or at least feed the Queen Kitty 3 tins of cat food a month. $3 a month gets you a free waterproof sticker. I guess it's not free with the transaction, sorry. And a shout out on every episode as long as you're subscribed, or even longer if I don't keep track well enough. So thanks Tim Bates. You can find him on spooky episodes like Night of the Demons, and it's not really spooky, but you got monsters with Charles Band's Bloodsport and Space Arena. And of course, let me thank the Scoop Staley, former AAW backstage interview personality. And you also access the original feed. So if you figure, it's Saw this week, I'll just go and pull up the old episode, and instead of this 15 minutes of rambling, you can do that for $3 a month, or 3 tins of cat food for Ava the Queen Kitty. So thanks Station Marie Harden for keeping me out of too much trouble, and I hope you're squeezing the ectoplasm out of the most jellicle of kitties, Skimbleshanks the One-Eared Angel, and please help out all those you touched in your life as well. So thanks for checking out I Did Crazy Flicks, and on to the show.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll. Bring the noise.
Previously on 94 Chill, the podcast.
Hello, Adam. Dr. Gordon. I want to play a game.
The Jigsaw Killer.
Paul, find the path with a razor wire.
Technically speaking, he's not really a murderer. He never killed anyone.
Dr. Gordon, your aim in this game is to kill Adam. If you do not, then Diana will die.
He finds ways for his victims to kill themselves.
I'm sick of people who don't appreciate their blessings. I've given you a life purpose.
Looks like our friend Jigsaw likes to book himself front row seats to his own sick games.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. Not anymore.
You are a drug addict. Do you think that is why he picked you?
He helped me. Don't believe Adam's lies.
Live or die. Make your choice.
All right, it says we're recording, so this is 90 for Chill, the podcast. This week I've got my former manager, so expect him to use some authority, I guess. Joe Golwitzer, and we were
Hi, hi.
Hey. So we were talking about a couple of subjects. I think we broke down to John Carpenter with you recently seeing The Thing, and the Saw movies, which is just fun little violence to talk about. So
Yeah.
where do you want to go with this then?
So I will say on Carpenter, looking at his filmography, I realize I haven't seen as much of his stuff as I'd want to. So you'll probably hate me for this, but I haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China. I haven't seen Escape from New York. I haven't seen Escape from LA. So these are things that after seeing The Thing, I am so excited to get into because I loved Halloween. I loved everything he's done that I've seen. So like the fact that I've been putting these movies off is almost criminal, I feel.
Well, going into this a couple nights ago, and ended up being a very long night between watching. I just got a late start on everything, I suppose. So around midnight, I finally got to watching John Carpenter's debut feature, which was actually just an extension of his USC short film called Dark Star.
Yeah, I was heard some stuff about that. That's another one I want to go back and see.
Oh yeah, it's stuff. I don't know if it's a good place to start with Carpenter or a kind of a good place to end with Carpenter because it really, I mean, it's good. It's pretty solid and shows everything that you're gonna come to know about him. So so it really ended up. But I mean, it's definitely, as I say, a student film, and anything I can take away from it is that Dan O'Bannon, writer of Alien, Return of the Living Dead, one of my personal 80s trash movie favorites, Life Force, as well. He was a writer of wrote that with John Carpenter and had his even a starring role in that. But
okay.
I would say if you see the movie Life Force, which I highly recommend, it doesn't qualify for 90 for chill, which is kind of part of the charm with that train wreck.
Life Force. All right. I mean, I've been looking for more and more movies because, again, I don't do much of anything anymore, like nobody does.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't realize that he did the original Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh, yes.
Now, I've only seen the Ethan Hawke, Lawrence Fishburne remake, which I believe he wrote the screenplay to as well, but I could be wrong about that. Hold on, I can actually check that really quick.
Looks a little too fancy to be a script. I mean, what I saw the trailers and stuff.
That's certainly probable then. Either way, knowing what I like about the new one, I would love to go back and watch the original, especially since that was right before Halloween, which, I mean, Halloween is such a classic to me. And I have only recently started to appreciate that too. It's actually part of the reason that I love horror movies. That Halloween and Saw are the two franchises that and Chucky really got me into it.
Oh yes, good old Child's Play. That was pretty much my only chance to get into acting. Didn't quite work out, but that's a weird story about my parents getting me an agent at 7 years old. And I'm still bitter about not getting Home Alone. I mean, you're flying this kid in from New York when, I'm only 3 hours south. But granted,
they
it was
wanted
probably
the Macaulay Culkin.
I wouldn't mind those headaches.
No, that's for sure.
So, but I guess that's a great way to transition to Saw. Something we both have, I think, pretty thorough knowledge about. It's a series where I enjoyed 7 of the 8 films. I think we all probably have one that we can dismiss. Now the first film doesn't qualify for 90 for chill, but hey, when at least 6 of the other ones do, I'm going to throw that in there. And I think that with Saw, I think I didn't get into horror till really late. I would say, I saw H2O when it came out when I was 18.
Man.
But that was just like, the movie to go see with everybody. And,
I remember when that came out. I mean, I was much younger, but I remember when that came out because Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back, and that was a big deal.
Right. And, any movie where you get Joseph Gordon-Levitt with a ice skate in his face is gonna pique some interest.
Yeah, many years back I wouldn't agreed with you, but I absolutely do now. That's a welcome picture for me.
Well, I mean, I love everything Joe's doing personally.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His hit record stuff is fantastic, the way he empowers people, but
Yes.
His acting to me has really taken a turn. I think it's just the choice of movies he's picked. I don't think it's his ability. I think he's a great actor. It's just I've been less than thrilled with his movies as of late.
Well, I can't really say I know too much about what he's done recently beyond I'd say that year he was really busy, which featured Premium Rush. I know there's another one in
Premium
there.
Rush was great. I mean, he was back with Brick, Premium Rush. Those were all.
Yeah. But
this isn't about him though.
No, it is
Saw
not.
movies.
So yes, yes. So I would say I didn't get into horror until I saw an IFC special, or it was a special shown on IFC back when IFC was really independent film,
right?
About Dario Argento. And when you see the weird images and such that he gets away, well, I can't say he gets away with. I'm sure he's got at least one or two on the Video Nasties list in the UK. But just how he focuses so much on making the gore artistic. And I can't really say the Saw movies do that very well. I think later in the series definitely gets a little more CG than it should, which kind of brings me back to The Thing. Because you were telling me
there's still an art in the kills of the Saw franchise, though, too.
So no, the kills themselves can be very artistic. No,
okay, but the gore.
Yeah,
I see.
I'm just saying that when you were talking about, we were talking about what we were going to do in Carpenter and The Thing, and then you brought up wanting to see the prequel. And yeah, I think it's worth a view. Yeah, I think it's a solid continuation of the story. But I will say that it's the not using practical effects really hurts it.
That's always a problem, right? Like, just because you have the CG technology doesn't mean that needs to be your main component.
Right. And I mean, just look at video games still. I mean, yeah, you get some disturbing images, but
it doesn't hit you like the practical grueling stuff like Hostel and even Saw to an extent can get you.
Oh yes.
Well, the first time I saw, even though it was 80s practical effects, but in The Thing, the first time you see the creature, it is still visceral. It's guttural because that thing is gooey and gross and oh God. But that's one of the reasons I love the movie so much. And I can't believe I put off seeing it for so long because every bit of that movie sticks out in my mind. I was thinking about it for weeks after.
Well, I really wish it could qualify, and I would have snuck it in anyhow.
Well, of course.
I mean, it's a perfect movie. I mean, I can't take anything away from it. I mean, that's might be definitely top 5 horror movies of all time. I think it's not an unfair statement.
But to see the CGI come to what it is, and I mean, Saw 3D really was the worst with it, right? Because you have those 3D moments where it's shot straight at the camera, which I hate those 3D moments. Anytime I'm drinking, that's a time where we drink. If there's a 3D moment, you take a drink because they're just so over the top. But
well, I think the final kill in Saw 7 works, but
yeah. Well, and I think as a whole, the movie is a more fun one of the bunch. I've really enjoyed the 7th Saw movie.
It took a rewatch for me to really get into that because I thought it was just a little too cruel. I mean, what happens to the characters?
Right.
I mean, I don't mind the conclusion of the Jill Tuck story.
Me either. And the fact that Carrie Elwes actually came back finally was pretty cool. Although you could clearly tell that they were just pigeonholing it in. But at that point, I didn't mind, right? Like, I'll do that because I want him back.
Yeah. Well, I did see the final chapter in theaters the first time.
Man, I wish I would have. I had the
Yeah.
chance to, and I
Well,
didn't because I just hadn't seen all of them yet.
Right, and that's really the only way I think you can go and see a 3D movie.
Yeah.
I don't buy the. I worked for Sharp Aqua's customer support, and they were trying to really pitch the 3D. This was 2012.
Well, yeah, my friend bought a Panasonic 3D TV that was really trying to take off, but then it just disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, just extra accessories for an in-home experience. I mean, I think it's just too cumbersome, I think, on the consumer.
I agree. One, you and I both wear glasses. Why would we want to wear more glasses on top of that?
Yeah, that's I didn't think about that element.
Well, that's why I don't like going to 3D movies in the theaters that much anymore. I know they fit around my glasses. I hate that I already have to see the movie through my glasses. I don't want another set of windows to look through.
Yeah, I can understand that. But
Not
I guess
we can really go to the movies right now.
Right. So Voice 16 supposedly open.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but I guess my 3D issues really come from usually people who go to 3D movies with me, because I like if it's a 3D IMAX, I'm gonna get as close as I can to the screen and still see,
yeah,
make sure everything's in my peripheral. Sometimes that's a little too extreme for a lot, but that can really change your opinion on a movie. Like I saw Prometheus back when we could still do midnight shows, and like pretty much just sat front row, and like the effects and everything, like just, oh, this is a beautiful movie. It's just, I can't wait for the Blu-ray. And then you get home and watch the Blu-ray, and like, well, that's excellent 3D because it covered up all the holes in this story.
Yeah, I had something similar with Godzilla. I mean, I really do still enjoy the first Godzilla, although I don't think it's a masterpiece by any means. But I saw it in the second row of the IMAX, dead center, because we got there late, and I think it might have been the midnight, but I could be wrong. And it was, I mean, seeing Godzilla that big right in front of you, it really made a difference with how that movie impacted me, because it was not the same watching it when I did it at home.
So I guess we got through Saw 7. I think
well, that's something I think the theater experience is something that I never got with Saw that I'm really kind of upset about. I had the chance even with the newest Jigsaw, and I didn't, but any one of these I would have loved to have seen in theaters, and I had the opportunity, but I wasn't into the series at that point.
Right. Oh, I didn't see any of them in the theater till I'd say Saw 6, which is one of my I think it works. Probably one of the better sequels. The direction's a little off, and you can say that about 5 and 7. It wasn't Darren Lynn Bousman. It's definitely not James Wan.
I think 5 was my least favorite. Is 6 the one with the family?
6 is the one with the the family that gets I guess you'd say it's a family that gets kidnapped, and it's about
but it's turns out it's the other family, and
right, it's a health the health insurer.
Yep.
Right.
I really enjoyed that one. It felt like a very nice contained story, and that to me is what Saw should be.
And I love the topical element of it, being a healthcare movie. I mean, none of the other movies actually go and accomplish that. I mean,
they tried, especially in 3 and 4. They tried, but I don't think it ever really hit with the doctor that he kidnapped.
Yeah. 3 and 3 again. It kind of comes. Is my least favorite. I've tried to go back to it a couple of times. I think that's probably the most gory, just for the sake of being gory.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with that, but I think that's part of the charm for me, because it was Amanda setting up the traps, right? So they were more.
Well, yeah, you had
chaotic.
Yeah, but
you're right. I mean, you're right. It is definitely one of the hardest ones to watch.
Yeah,
I think I definitely agree.
Especially the ending. Like, this guy goes through absolute hell. And you think he's learned the lesson.
Yeah.
And then he goes and just, well, I hope Saw 4 kind of course corrects. Saw 4 I did like. I think
Saw 4, I think, is the reason I like 3 as much as I do.
Oh, well, I mean, 4, I love the introduction of the FBI into it.
Yes.
I think that was a more interesting story, honestly, than I think it's kind of a throwback to the first Saw, which James Wan always said, and oh shoot, I got to go back and add gore to this. Otherwise, I've just done a PG-13 procedural.
Well, and you're right, though. The detective parts of it are what kept the story going. They're what kept driving it, and it was what ended up making it fun. It was kind of that part of the newest one, Jigsaw, that had me interested in it, although I wasn't super crazy about that one either. I like it, but
oh yeah, I've watched Jigsaw a few times, and the last time I watched it, I think it's just got a way too many. I mean, it tried to be way too clever.
Right, when it tried to make itself its own thing, but it ignored too much of the original, I felt, because to not even mention Carrie L was at that point after he had been such a big deal. I don't know. I'm excited for where Chris Rock goes for it. I can say that at least.
I was talking to my sister when we did the episode 2 of this Jurassic Jeff Jezebel owes me $8. That I was just trying to come up with something because we had a reason to pause it, and we were doing it in person in that one. Sure. And I just said, well, you know what? Let's just throw in a rewatchables category in there, casting what ifs. What would you put Jeff Goldblum in? And I would say, the new Jigsaw.
Man, that would be.
Could you imagine Samuel L. Jackson and?
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be something that you're right. I would see. I'm not even the biggest Jeff Goldblum fan, but I do love him when he hits right in a movie. I mean, you can't deny his role in Jurassic Park. You can't deny his role in Thor Ragnarok. I mean, the guy's a great actor.
Oh, I mean,
because he plays characters that are perfect for him.
Yes. Yeah, we went through pretty much all of his 90-minute movies.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy deserves an extra half hour. I'm going to tell you that. But I was thinking back to this kind of spawned off the Great White hype, but you want and I think I'm trying to bring it back to at least some of the things I've done with this. I don't know. I guess trying to bring this to Cronenberg, because I thought of Goldblum and then The Fly is probably his greatest performance.
I would agree with that. I haven't watched that movie in a very long time, but I watched it in high school and I loved it.
I mean, it does. I mean, that's, I think, the standard, at least from a gore standpoint, of how you deliver it, with the intensity and such. And to bring it back to Saw, yeah, you don't really ever get one of those scenes. I mean, the closest thing you get is the grand finale kill in 7. Pardon me, but I would like to interrupt this current podcast just in the event that we did not get our Stuart Gordon insertion completed at the appropriate time. So bear with us and we'll be back with our regularly scheduled podcast. So I just completed watching Stuart Gordon's Castle Freak from 1995, produced by Full Moon Pictures and Charles Band of Arena fame, Puppet Masters, a lot of stuff. It's a pretty solid horror movie. I love the Italian influences upon it. It just has the kind of the suspense of a giallo, despite this really a monster movie. Definitely the trauma of a giallo film. I love Argento. It kind of walks that line pretty well between Argento and Fulci. So Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, if you need first names. So, I don't agree with all the cat abuse in Gordon's films. I mean, he got 3 more years than Bowie, and maybe that's all he deserved. Don't mess with the kitties. Now, this film stars his constant stalwarts, I should say, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton. And Barbara Crampton seems to evolve with each film, from Reanimator to From Beyond, and now Castle Freak. And Jeffrey Combs is Jeffrey Combs. It takes a half hour. It takes 45 minutes for him to become full-blown Jeffrey Combs, which is great for the film. But if you're a fan of Stuart Gordon, you kind of want him to just go off the rails with him pretty fast. So it has an interesting antagonist, the Castle Freak, who's a pretty compassionate character. You can really kind of relate. I mean, you understand his motivations, but then again, he goes and kills a cat. So, that compassion goes out the window. So, looking over my notes real quick, I said it builds up the suspense like a good Met Giallo. Autocorrect says goalie. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fun little flick. I really would love to see it redone in a 16:9 instead of a 4:3. This is a direct-to-video, again, Full Moon Pictures, pretty cheap crap, in the most affectionate way. And I know it was remade in 2020, so I'll probably investigate that at some point. But all I'm going to say is if you do not have some nipple mutilation in that feature, maybe you missed the mark.
Hold on to your butts.
Well, at the beginning, though, and I know we don't have to talk about the first one as much, but the cutting into the leg is really it didn't need a lot of gore, but
that was the brilliance of the first film,
right? Well, and then the second one, it expanded on that. It more so than I would have liked personally at the time, although I see that it's so good now with how the franchise set out. I didn't like how everybody had their own room and everything.
I kind of wish the movie was longer to flush that out a little more thoroughly.
Well, I definitely agree with that now, but when I first saw it, when I was 18 and I first saw it, I did not think that way because I had just come off that ending on the first one, that game over, slamming the door, and I loved that. That gave me the chills. That was one of those movie moments that I wish I could go back and experience again for the first time, and I just didn't have that with the second one. But knowing what the Saw franchise is now, that's such a titular thing. Like, I want to hear these people learn their lessons. I want them to go through these trials. Yeah. So I definitely want to see them fleshed out more now.
Right. Well, Saw 2 is probably my favorite of the series, actually. I mean,
I think that's what most people say. I know that's how my roommate feels. I just, the first one speaks to me.
Oh no, the first one is the best of them. I mean, it's the movie that put James Wan on the map. You can take all your Conjuring and shove that. I
love Lee Winnell. His writing's great, his acting's great.
He's becoming a great director. Upgrade was excellent,
amazing.
Yes, and I hear nothing but good things about The Invisible Man.
Same. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. And I'm not the biggest fan of. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Peggy, the girl from Mad Men.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Mad Men. Yeah, you have to. This is so. I like to call myself a film expert, based off two professors two instructors at ICC, not quick to the IMDb.
I can get it, but I don't care for her.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know. I haven't watched Handmaid's Tale or a Handmaid's Tale.
I barely watched Mad Men, honestly.
Yeah, the Funko Pops are cool for Mad Men. That's the like just seeing them with drinks and cigarettes.
I'm always worried that some of the TV ones, or some of them in general, get too generic. But you're right. They do have enough character to them most of the time.
Yeah.
I was worried when I got and it was stupid worry, but when I got my Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks, I was really worried that it was not going to be noticeable. But of course, you can tell exactly who it is.
Oh, yeah.
The trench coat and the coffee. I was dumb to ever think otherwise.
Right. Which kind of brings me back to, aside from just a tangent, which is what you're supposed to expect on podcast.
Yes.
Kyle MacLachlan kind of had a shit. Sorry, that's the second obscenity ever done on this podcast. Same word. So we're in the South Park territory.
Hey,
working for that trying to get to that Blue Chew money so I could care less.
There you go.
But he, outside of Twin Peaks, his 90s is not really, didn't really get a lot of great characters.
No, he was in what, the Flintstones movie, right?
Yeah. And then he was Showgirls.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to the Goldblum episode. It's an interesting movie called Mad Dog Time. Hell of a cast, but yeah, he's just totally phones it in. Just everybody's trying to open over the top. Directed by Larry Bishop, who's just probably best known as the strip club owner in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Oh jeez. Oh hi buddy. Sorry, cat's jumping in.
Oh no, I got two wanted around here, so
well, I knew you knew how it was.
Yep.
Yeah, back to Saw though. You know what kind of I never liked that the little puppet became the mascot of Saw. Like I get why it is, and I get why it's important too, but that's such a different concept to me than what like Michael Myers is, or what Freddy is, Freddy Krueger, or Jason. You know, it's not the thing that's killing them. But what else are you gonna do? What else is gonna be your symbol?
Right. Yeah, I couldn't. Like, I don't know, maybe just an audio file, but just Tobin Bell's voice,
right? Or a facsimile of him. Although I suppose that the puppet could be argued to be that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess another good thing about 4 is that it kind of it was 4.
Yeah, it showed him kind of painting it, right?
Right, establishes the lore behind it.
I didn't expect to get so much into his life. Well, all the characters that got involved, honestly, I didn't expect to have such fleshed out stories for these characters.
Yeah.
Between, although Strom, I don't think was super fleshed out, but at least in his FBI role, it was.
Yeah, and no, his entire hunt in 5 is what makes that movie. Well,
absolutely.
5, I don't know. Now that I think about it, 5 is really, because I love the games in 5. That's the is that 6? No, 6 is the family. 5 is the arsonist.
Yes.
And how, like,
with the swinging blade, right?
Right. Well, that's the swinging blade. Yeah, the pit and the pendulum's the beginning.
Yes.
But the main game is the 6 people all involved in an arson.
Yeah.
And
yes,
the final twist of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really into that game, and especially after the twist in the end of that. And I think
go ahead, sorry.
Oh, and I think Strom's battle with Hoffman in the end was a good climax.
Well, and I think Strom's part of that movie and his whole storyline was my favorite part of it. The characters I just never really came around on. I know you had Dexter's wife. What is her name?
I know Julie Benz was
Julie Benz. Yep, that's exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I normally love her, and I just felt like she was kind of phoning it in for this one a little bit. Almost in a Boondock Saints 2 way.
You see, Boondocks 2, Saints 2 does not age well, has not aged well at all.
That's why I haven't rewatched it. I've been so worried about that because I have such fond memories of it.
I mean, I was pumped for BS 2. It was and I saw that one in theaters. So
me too.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a fun experience. It you know, I like the I guess Rocco's the big problem, and when it comes to how it ages.
Yeah.
And that was just I know that's Troy Duffy's friend, but that's a reason Troy Duffy doesn't work.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole documentary about him too. I don't remember what it's called, but that was a wild ride because he is just not. There's a reason he's been kicked out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, I will say too, that first one, I did rewatch that fairly recently, and while I do still enjoy it was not as enjoyable this time around as it used to be for me. And I don't know if it's just me getting older and having seen more movies.
It was a essentially a Tarantino knockoff.
Yeah.
In a sense. I mean, the action, it's poorly, there's no real I mean, the action sequences aren't really there.
Right. They're just kind of
It's all,
reenactments or
yeah, it's all just trying to be slick with the camera.
yeah.
I mean, still, the Norman Reedus, Sean Patrick Flannery, Willem Dafoe, they all deliver. Billy Connolly, they all deliver, which
Oh, absolutely.
still
The
makes the movie
cast was
worthwhile.
great. Well, and the detectives are so
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Oh, what's the symbology? Man, you're right. It is still there, and that one is still at least worth the watch. I just didn't enjoy it as much. But when I went back and watched the Saw movies this last October, I find every time I watch these movies, I'm enjoying them more. And I think it's just because I haven't seen them so much and I haven't picked them apart as much as I probably did Boondock Saints back when I was, 18, 19, 20, starting out college.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, and I'd say that's kind of taken away a little bit from Saw. Because as I say, I saw Jigsaw. I bought the Blu-ray. I watched the Blu-ray a couple times. I went and did a review on it for 90forchill.com. And it just, man, yeah, you can't, this is a series where you shouldn't overthink.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I always forget that Donnie Wahlberg's in it for as long as he is.
Oh yeah, the Donnie Wahlberg trilogy.
I wish we could have seen more from his son's character. I wish he could have been the one that was doing it in Jigsaw,
Yeah,
I think that was a missed opportunity.
Oh, there's plenty of missed opportunity with that one. They just didn't want. They just wanted. They really were just trying to remake Saw. They weren't worried. They weren't. Well, that's the truth. They weren't worried about any other of the characters we got. Like Hoffman, I think more about Hoffman. He is little limited, but he gets stronger every time. Though I think I mean, that's a positive of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and Amanda, like, when she showed up again, I think it wasn't until 6. She may have had a bit in 5.
Hey. Every time she came back was always fun. I always liked the uncertainty of what she was going to do.
Yeah.
Because when she started, she was this being of good, and to see her transform before your eyes, you always knew there was something off about her. And then you find out that she's working with him. And
in the twist in I think it was 6 when they delivered the fact that she's somewhat responsible for all of the chaos in John's life.
Oh yeah, with the drug addict who went in there and the miscarriage. Yeah, absolutely. When it all tying together like that, and him playing a game with her the whole time, man. I love this stupid series.
Well, I mean, we haven't had I wouldn't say since Wes Craven, slowed down, got out of the franchise game. And truthfully, Wes Craven wasn't the franchise guy. That was all New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he may have wrote 3, but he didn't come back till New Nightmare.
Well, and even with he did Scream, right?
Yeah, he did all the Screams. So
you're right. I mean, he has those cohesive points.
But I guess if this is kind of a Saw is the closest thing we've got to the ridiculous sequels for the sake of sequel's sake.
Like a Friday the 13th amount of sequels.
And then Nightmare on Elm Street.
I
mean, Texas
Halloween even.
Yeah, Halloween's weird because they waited so long between starting the franchise back up. I mean, after the failure of 3, which
there's 3 different timelines to follow.
Oh yeah, they were really. I mean, you kind of have to, when you're doing a series like this, you have to knock them out one after the other, after the other, after the other. I mean, you're not going to get great movies.
No.
But they're fun. And I think cinema is missing that. It's kind of like, I guess the closest thing we had to that is the MCU, where they just kept popping out movies like, and you can't really hate any of the MCU movies.
Yeah, you're right. I don't hate them. I'm just real tired of them generally, but
no,
I'm still
like,
gonna see them. I'm still gonna love them.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like Far From Home was a little too much after the darkness that I think was how dark the series got with Endgame. Like,
No,
yeah,
see my fatigue hit with Endgame and Infinity War. And then Far From Home was kind of like, oh, okay, this could be fun again.
I don't know. I think after 22 movies, we just need an extended break. I mean, Disney Plus is going to be doing great things with franchises anyhow.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, they Mandalorian at least makes us, made episode 9 kind of a.
Oh yeah, I mean, Mando gives me hope for it. We don't need to talk about this, but the WandaVision stuff, I was not crazy about it first, but this last episode, I'm starting to come around. I don't know if you've watched.
Yeah, I am definitely need to catch up on that, especially since I'm seeing hints and drops of what could happen, and it's like.
Well, that's why I'm keeping up, man. I can't find something online that I didn't want to see for myself. But something with Jigsaw that I do, or Saw in general, that I wanted to mention that I think does set it apart from the other franchises that were just knocking movies out year after year, is that they gave us enough answers. Like, it wasn't a ton of answers, but every franchise, every edition, what am I trying to say? Every one that came out had a bow on the end of it and then gave us a little more.
Yeah, it built upon its universe. They tried that with the latter Halloween. I mean, the early 90s Halloweens.
Right, with the cult stuff.
Yeah, which, I mean, no, it totally missed the point.
I agree.
Of Michael Myers. I mean, and I would say I liked Zombies First Halloween because I think it kind of gave us if you wanted answers, it kind of supplied them. I mean, after the
second one was too much though for me.
And I hear a lot of people love the second one though.
I will take that first one over that second one any day, especially since Brad Dourif's the sheriff.
Well, yeah. That's it's always, I mean, anything with Brad Dourif. I mean, I know it's tough to find a lot of these Argento movies now with getting to digital, but I would really recommend Trauma, I think it was. Like
I love Brad Dourif. I'll watch anything he's in.
He's in it briefly. Another good Brad Dourif that's hard to find. Like, I can't get it. I have it on iTunes, but it's not in HD, called Death Machine.
Death Machine.
Directed by Steve Nordingham of Blade fame, which also means League of Gentlemen infamy.
Oh my God, man. With Sean Connery?
Yes.
I haven't seen that in ages.
I thought it was fun the first time I watched it. Then it does not make the transition to HD.
Was so that one and Van Helsing I watched around the same time for the first one for the first time I saw him. Have you seen Van Helsing recently?
No, I haven't really ever sat to watch it. I've seen enough cinema snobs and and nostalgia critic takes on it. But
that's fair.
Yeah. And I guess at least Saw being grounded in reality, it just you don't have to worry about that. It translates good to the next form of media. I mean, the first may as well have been shot in black and white. It's that classic.
Yeah. I mean, parts of it were though too, the flashbacks, right?
Oh yes. Well, kind of iffy on that. Like, a lot of it's more like the photos and stuff. Like,
oh right.
You kind of think they may have been still thinking, maybe we can knock it down to a PG-13. But,
if the first Saw movie had been made on a lesser budget, it would have reminded me a lot more of something like The Following, like Christopher Nolan's first movie.
Yes.
And it would have been interesting to see the show become more of a stalker trapper. But I certainly like where they went still.
Yep. So I guess we're going to get around to wrapping up. You don't want to mess around with Zoom and their 40-minute rule too much.
Sure.
So I'm going to go again. I said my favorite Saw is probably 2. What would your favorite? I mean, outside of 1.
Outside of 1.
Yeah. Favorite Saw sequel.
I think I'm going to have to go with 6. I wouldn't have said that after my first watch through, but after this most recent watch through, I think I had the most fun watching that one. That scene with the carousel is just it's so good.
Yes. Love the desperation.
Yeah.
Display.
Just the pure hate and desperation. It's pure emotion. So good.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, most important time any podcast would be plugs and upcoming events. So I know you're not streaming too much with the Skulls and Joe Society.
No, we do. Our Twitch page is still there, and we might come back in some fashion. We have a couple YouTube videos up, and we might record something. So if you want to check it out, it's just at the Skull and Joe's Society on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, everywhere, really.
Your Instagram, you're really showing off your artistic abilities.
Yeah, I've been trying to, in my time, I've been trying to hone my skills at drawing, and that's not all I'll post over on my Instagram, but it is at quidpro_Joe, excuse me. And it's the same on Twitter if you want to get me there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of my drawings and junk.
Twitter, you get the croc jokes.
Yeah. Croc jokes. Twitter's where I spout nonsense and retweet nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for giving me this 40 minutes. It's good to get back reconnected with you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad you messaged me to do this. And any other time you want to do it, just let me know. It's super easy to set up.
Yeah, get caught up on your carpenter, and we'll try to get back.
All right. I'll see ya.
See ya.
Can I hear a wahoo?
This podcast was made possible by the love and support of Dave and Cindy Stevens, Rory Stevens and Allison Higgins, Danny Daniels, and Stephanie Smith.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.